Hello everyone and welcome to this week's short video tutorial which will be a commentary of board 30 in the top 50 selected brevities from 1956 to 2006. This was a series that was ran in the periodical Qiyi in about 2007 or 2008. This will be board 30. Red would be Master Li Hongjia and black would be Master Zhang Jiang. This match was played in the 1997 Chinese National Xiangqi Team Championships, and it was Shanghai versus Hebei. Master Zhang Jiang represented Hebei, and Master Li Hongjia, whom you can see often doing commentaries on current A-League matches, he represented Shanghai at that time. This will be a same direction cannons game, which is one of the opening systems that I love most. So without further ado, let us begin the game. Central cannon, same direction cannons, standard opening moves. Red chose the foul chariot and black chose the deferred chariot variation. R9 plus 1 is usually is also great, or H2 plus 3. These three moves are considered to be orthodox. Now in this match, Master Li Hongjia played a very interesting move. C8 equals to 6. C8 equals to 6. Now this is quite unusual because usually H8 plus 7 is played, whereby red would try to consolidate the central file. This will lead to many complicated situations which I shall not go over in this short video. Now C8 equals to 6 was played. I ran this position through the computer and red would still enjoy a slight advantage of about 50 points. Black continued to develop both horses as proper horses. 5-6 cannons. Now this same direction cannon games are usually very volatile, and usually a player would have to be very aggressive, and the innate characteristics of the 5-6 cannons, which is more of a slower pace and more deliberate opening, would sometimes go against the character of the same direction cannons opening. So this is very rarely seen, whereby usually red would go play very proactively and very aggressively to try to gain a significant lead going to the mid game. So black continued with R1 equals to 2. As can be seen, because of C8 equals to 6, development of the left flank by red fell behind to the development of the black's right pieces. So in the match, R9 equals to 8 was played, and black chose to form a blockade, because if this cannon had not been played, black would not have been able to develop his right flank so easily. So what would happen if red tried to play R2 plus 4? Trade off chariots. Again, black would now, this situation will have now transposition to red's 5-6 cannons against black's sandwich horse defense. Now this will be another huge opening system, and it will have its own rules of engagement. I shan't go over this, but R2 plus 4 would also be a viable option. So C2 plus 4 and R2 plus 4. Now in the book, P7 plus 1 was advocated, whereby the red would try to prevent the black cannon from attacking the central pawn. Now because of the 5-6 cannons, there will now only be one horse protecting the central pawn, so that is why this cannon will be blocking the left horse, so that is why p7+1 was advocated. But if p7+1 was played, black would have the option of c2 equals to 7 to add pressure on this flank. So there will be pros and cons, but in the match so far at this point in time, red would still enjoy a slight advantage of about 30 to 50 points. So this is red would not have managed to gain any tempo, and this will be one of the innate characteristics of the 5-6 cannons. Black would choose to develop his other chariot. p7+1 was finally played, and black tried to link his chariots and the cannon in the same file, threatening to play c2 equals to 3. Now if red made the mistake of h7+6, black would go for the skewer, cannon skewer with c2 minus 1. So this will be also similar to some of the opposite direction cannons, the different opposite direction cannons variations. So in the match, p3+1 was played as red tried to adopt a slow and deliberate approach and tried to develop his right horse by trading pawns. It was at this point that black drew first blood with c2 equals to 3. Now in the magazine, c2 equals to 3 was considered to be a brash move. There were two other variations that were analyzed. The first would be r2 plus 3, whereby black would try to patrol the riverbank. And black would still be able to put up a fight. So this might have been slightly better. p7+1 was also examined, whereby black accepted the trade of pawns. So the line given in the magazine was check. A very powerful counter check. So at this point in time, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. But black would now gain a headhunter cannon. Very nice move. This move was suggested in the book. Now, it would seem to be a sacrifice, but let's say if red captured the elephant, check, black would gain material. It would be black's 2 chariots and 1 cannon versus red's 1 chariot, 1 cannon, 1 house combination, and black would have a material advantage. So that is why red cannot capture the black cannon, and red would enjoy a slight advantage at this point in time. So p7+1 would seem to be a viable option, but it would lead to very complicated situations. So in the match, black chose to attack with c equals to 7. And in this match, red played h3+4. Now, this position was quite interesting because after running it through my computer, it was suggested that red could have fared much better by refusing to trade chariots and playing r8 equals to 9. I'll pull up a variation here. Okay, as can be seen, r8 equals to 9 to refuse to trade chariots. As can be seen, red will have a slight advantage of about 26 points. So over here, about only 26 points. So r8 minus 9, r8 equals to 9 to refuse to trade chariots was suggested. In the magazine, r8 plus 8, whereby red chose to accept the trade of chariots, was also examined. So black would deliver a check first before capturing or trading chariots. And red would have a slight advantage because black would not be able to capture any material with the discovered check, and the red pawn would now be a major issue for black to consider. So red would have a slight advantage. So that is why accepting the trade was not a good idea, and perhaps the best move as suggested by the computer would be r8 equals to 9. Unfortunately, red played a very questionable move of h3 plus 4, and after making this move, black would actually seize the initiative and gain an advantage of about 150 to 200 points. So this was the move that lost red the advantage or the initiative. The reason for making this move was that red chose to sacrifice material to try to gain momentum for attack. However, this was an error in judgment, and this was why red eventually lost. Instead, r8 plus 8 was suggested by both the computer and in the magazine. The variation given in the magazine was this. Check. And red would still have a slight advantage, but black would still have black would still be threatening, but red would still have a slight advantage. So black would trade chariots. Red would try to gain some form of attack in compensation for losing material. Black would play very aggressively to capture the elephant and protect the cannon from the threat of the red horse, and counter sacrificing a horse in this manner. Red will continue with p3 plus 1, and black would choose to force the black horse to capture the red horse, and afterward prepare for his flank attack. Red will retreat his horse to try to attack from the other file, and black will finally have his cannon and chariot in place. It will still be a roughly equal situation at this point in time. And red will deliver a check, forcing the red cannon to retreat. At this point in time, it will still be a slightly rather even game, but black would have a slight advantage of about 70 to 100 points. So red would threaten to gain back lost material. Now, when I ran through this position, it was still a roughly even game. Black had a very slight advantage, but it was at this point that red made a serious blunder that cost him the game. It would be p3 plus 1. Instead, the computer recommended h6 plus 4. I just pulled out one of the variations at level 40. Black would still enjoy a slight advantage of minus 33 of 33 points. So let's just go through a possible variation. After h6 plus 4, red would threaten to go for the elbow horse attack and counter sacrificing material. Well, because after capturing the material, red would use the his cannon to trap the black cannon and chariot in this manner. Check. Capturing the cannon. And as can be seen, red, although the black pawns would seem very menacing, red would still live to fight another day. So this is very interesting. position. And Black would have an attack going on. He would even have a slight advantage, but Red would definitely have a very playable game. So that is why p3 plus 1 was a... it was advocated that Red play h6 plus 4 instead. Unfortunately, Red played p3 plus 1, and this was a serious blunder. According to my computer, after making this move, Black would gain an advantage of almost 800 over points. So because 800 over points was gained, this would force Black to play this. This would allow Black to play h5 plus 6. Now, because the horse had not moved, it will actually act as a cannon mount for the the Black Chariot to capture the cannon to gain material. And unfortunately, it was too late. Red tried to salvage his situation by playing h6 plus 4. Now this would be another serious blunder. The recommended move would have been h6 minus 4. But nevertheless, Red was already in deep trouble, and Black had a winning position. And perhaps Red had underestimated the potential of the Black's attack, and he chose to advance the horse instead. And because of this very costly move, Black made a very beautiful move with c4 plus 5. As can be seen, this will prove to be the final blow in this position. There will be no kill with the red the red elbow horse at this point in time. So at this point in time, the game was basically decided. So if Red tried to counter-sacrifice material by moving his king away, for example, after delivering a check, Black would still gain more material, and his forces would be simply too overwhelming. So in the match, r2 equals to 6 was played, which served to speed up the process of Black winning. And after c7, r2 equals to 6 was played, Black decided to deliver a discover check with r3 plus 1, and this was when Red resigned. So I'll show you why did Red resign, because this would be a check, a smothered check in effect, and the only legal move would be a5 plus 1, and Black would checkmate by capturing the advisor. So this is a very hand position, and it's very interesting. Seldom do you see such kills in actual play. And prior to p3 plus 1, if Red had played h6 plus 4 earlier, Red would actually enjoy a slight advantage. And unfortunately, he did not anticipate, or he did not understand the full potential of Black's attack, and he had to pay a hefty price for it. So I hope you've enjoyed this week's short video tutorial, and if you like the work that I've been doing, please subscribe to my channel. Thank you.